Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to UK Data Service webinar series. And today I will be presenting you with Finding and Accessing Data webinar. At the beginning, I will talk about what kind of data we hold and what do we mean by data. Next, I will introduce you to our main resources of finding data, our pages such as key data, data by theme, how to use data catalog, and other useful resources such as Hasid and DataMap. Next, I would like to focus just a little bit more on understanding the data series record and study information. And finally, we will discuss the data access conditions and also the process of downloading the data while using our newly designed website, and also the possibility of accessing some data online. After the main part of the webinar, you will have a chance to ask any questions that might appear throughout the webinar, and we will aim to answer all of them during this session. So let's begin. There are several ways how our data can be categorized. One of the ways is to group it by type. We hold a wide range of microdata that is based on studies that collect information about people or at a household level. Examples of such data are UK surveys, census microdata, cohort and longitudinal studies, cross-national surveys, and business surveys. Then next we hold data about places, data about small areas in the census data, or information about countries in the International Time Series data. And finally, we have a wide range, up to 3,000 collections of qualitative and mixed method data. Another way to think about the data we hold is by the purpose. You can access data for your research, raw data sets that were deposited with us, and also you can find a more user-friendly data sets that are aimed at teaching. And lastly, you could search data by studies, by surveys, or alternatively, you could search for specific variables or questions that will be linked later on to the study. This is an example of just one of the quantitative data files that we hold. This is an example of public attitudes to animal research survey data set. This is an open data set, and because it is an open data set, you will notice that age is represented in age bands, and the most specific geographical unit is the government region. This is an example of qualitative data we hold. This is taken from the study on family life and work experience, or alternative name for this study is the Edwardians. This is an interview transcript belonging to a specific male participant. Again, this is an open data. Now I will talk a little bit more on our resources on finding data. So first of all, you could find the data by going to our main homepage using the Get the Data tab and selecting the Key Data menu. Here, data are grouped by type, and this is an example of the UK surveys. So these are cross-sectional surveys that gathered information from all over UK. This page lists all the main surveys, not all of them, but obviously the most popular ones that fit into the criteria of UK cross-sectional survey. You can see that the list is quite long. You can use this list to explore whether there are particular surveys that would be suitable for your research. One of the most widely used surveys belonging to the UK service category is the LFS, Labour Force Survey, or the Annual Population Survey, British Social Attitudes. Next, in a similar manner, we have a list of cross-national surveys. So these are collecting data from different countries. There is a list of longitudinal surveys. Examples would be BHPS, Understanding Society Survey. Then you can find the list of international macrodata, census data, business microdata, as well as a list of qualitative or mixed method surveys. Another way to explore the data is to look at our pages where data are organized by themes. I find this approach quite useful when you know the kind of research question you would like to explore, or you even know specific variables you would like to look at, but you are not quite sure yet which survey would be most suitable. So these pages have 13 general topics that the studies are organized by. Topics include themes such as politics, labor market, health, housing. And in this example, we will look at the housing and the local environment pages. So once you select this page, there is a brief description of the general area and what kind of topics you are expected to find on these pages. And then there is a table that lists all the main surveys that would be suitable for someone who would like to research the housing area. The middle column shows the range of dates that the survey covers. The final column will show you more specific subtopics that are included in the survey. You can see that at the end of the page there is an additional list of external links to resources that also could be useful in researching housing data. The theme pages not only include information on what data sets you could use for your research, but also it has useful resources on how to find other studies that perhaps you find more useful for your research. It has a list of case studies on a similar topic that already has been published. So now you can see the list of all the main studies that are reflecting the topic of the housing. And then finally there is a list of external resources on the topic of housing data. Another way to look for the data is by using our data catalog. You are most likely going to see the data catalog window on just about any page of UK Data Service website. And the data catalog is useful if you're searching for a particular keyword, or you already know a specific survey you're looking for, or you know even the study number of a particular data collection. Here I will demonstrate the data catalog search. So I started with an initial search of just looking for a key term, employment and unemployment. You can see that the search returned 1,550 studies and 8 series. On the next page, I will demonstrate how you can use the filters available on the left-hand side of the screen, search and find perhaps studies that fit your research criteria. So here I decided to look only on the date range between 2010 and 2011. The topic I would like my data collection to be, I would prefer it to be in economics. I would only like to look at the longitudinal and cohort studies. I would choose a safeguarded access, and I will talk a little bit later about what the safeguarded access means. For now, we'll just choose safeguarded access. And I would like my survey to be based on Great Britain sample. And you can see that my search has been narrowed down to, in fact, just one Understanding Society series. Once I click on the link, I'm taken to the main study page of this data collection. Another way to look for data is by searching for specific variables or for specific questions. You can find the variable and question bank search bar on the left-hand side. It is just under the data catalog one. Here I used the term solar power to see what kind of search results will be returned. This is not a particularly popular term. As you can see, it's only 19 results that included. However, you can see that For example, in the first line, the British Social Attitude Survey has the question on to which of the following should Britain give priority in order to meet its future energy needs. So if you were to expand the responses, most likely you would find solar power amongst the responses. So this is a nice way to identify which survey would be suitable for you if you're thinking of a very specific topic you would like to research. Next, I will demonstrate the search in our QualiBank. So QualiBank, again, you can find it on the same left-hand side of the menu. And the QualiBank allows you to search for qualitative resources that are archived with us. I have used the term poverty to look for any qualitative resources that would mention this key term in their transcripts. So the search returned 132 results. We are going to filter it down to a smaller amount later, but for now I just want you to pay attention to how the search results look. You can see that there is the study number and the study title presented in the study information. For some of the data collections, there you can also see a specific demographics of participants of the qualitative research. So I would like now to narrow down my research. I will only look through the Edwardians data collection. Further, you can choose the type of qualitative resource you would like to view. In this case, it doesn't make a particular sense to select any type, as all the Edwardians data collections are interview transcripts. And also, if you wish, you have the possibility of selecting a particular date range or even a particular demographics of participants whose data you would like to view. Now I would like to talk briefly about other useful resources we offer on the UK Data website. So I did include the link to the data map on the page, and feel free to explore it later on. Data map we offer enables you to view and find data by exploring a map of the world. And now I'm going to show a quick demonstration of how it can be used. So as you can see, studies are grouped together depending on the geographical location. But once you zoom in a little bit more, the number of the studies gets dispersed around the geographical area, so it gets more area specific. In this particular demonstration, I would like to look at Colchester, the hometown of UK Data. And you can see that there are 14 studies that will include the geographical location of Colchester in some way in their data collection. Once you select any particular study, it will link you back to the data catalog pages. So once we selected Essex Student Survey, we're back in our data catalog study description. Another useful resource that I recommend you using when looking for data is our HAZARD. HAZARD is a thesaurus of the search key terms. So previously you saw me looking for any studies that include the poverty as a key term. You can use thesaurus to find any relevant alternative key terms that you could also use to improve your search results. So you can see that the related terms for poverty could be financial difficulties, poor persons, or wealthy persons. So you could use a combination of any of these key terms to see whether some more suitable for your research results come up. In the next couple of slides, I will tell you more about understanding the data series record and how you can use it to improve your understanding of the data set and deciding whether it is indeed suitable for your research or not. So here, the first page I present you with is the series page. This is a general page with a brief description of the entire study of understanding society. If we select the Access page, this is where you can find a full list of data collections related to understanding society are available. So here you have all the list. What I would like you to notice here is that the data collections are grouped based on the access level of the study. So you have a list of secure access data sets, then you have a list of special license access data sets, and then there is a list of standard end user license data sets. Next step has all the frequently asked questions that our users tend to have when they are accessing data or already analyzing the data. Resources is the page that has external links to other sources such as publications or reports that are relevant to the research area of understanding society study. Here I would like to talk a little bit more about a specific data set related to understanding society data collection. So as you can see, the website has identical interface to the series pages, but you can see that now we are on the page of a specific study, so a specific data collection. This is an Understanding Society harmonized data set. On the first page, you have a more extended abstract. There is the citation and copyright reference provided for you. So if you use this data set for your research, we advise you to include a citation in a suggested form in your references list. You can also switch between all the main citation formats. Next, the details page lists all the main topics covered in the study. There is an abstract. The coverage and methodology is quite useful as it provides the dates of the field work, the geographical location, information about the sample, and the mode with which the data were collected. The documentation is an extremely useful page of resources. Here you will find documents such as questionnaire for the study, technical report, methodology for the study, data dictionary, and user guide. All this information will be useful on the initial stages when you're just deciding whether this data set is suitable for your research, and later on once you start analyzing and you might need some additional information on the variables or on the measurement level of the variables. Resources have links again to external sources such as reports that explore the same topic. And finally, the Access tab is where you can access or download the data set from. So in this demonstration, for now, I will just add the data set to my account, and later on in the webinar, I will show how to actually download it into your working space. This is just a quick recap of what the details page of the study can provide. So first you have the abstract that provides information about the general focus of the survey and the details. What I think users might find important is that those who tend to use these data sets extensively, sometimes they're expecting newer versions of the same data set to be uploaded. Sometimes it has additional variables, sometimes it has changes in the variables. So in the details page, as a rule, you can find the history of all the changes to the most current data set from the previous versions. Now, for those who are just deciding whether this data set is suitable for your research or not, the details page will mention which variables are available under the end-user license agreement and which ones are available only if you request a secure access version. So sometimes we have users who downloaded the data set and then they're asking us, how come this and that variable is not available in the data set? Well, most likely due to the particular sensitivity of some data, it can be found only in the secure access version of the same data set. This is the kind of information you can find on that page. Now we're approaching the final part of the webinar, and this one will talk more about how to access the data. We will talk about access conditions of different data sets. So you already heard me mentioning secure access data, end user license data, open data set. I will talk a little bit more about all the access conditions to different types of data. Next I will show how to download the data and add it to your project. And also, I will describe our main online data access routes. So these are 4 main conditions of data access that we offer on UK Data website. We hold a small amount of open data. So these data, in order to access these data, you don't need to be registered with the UK Data service. You can simply find the data set through our search catalog, and you will be able to download and use it immediately. A lot of the data we hold is safeguarded, and that means that it is distributed either under end user license or the special license conditions. In order to access the end user license data, you will need to be registered with the UK Data service. The special license conditions will require just one more step of your research to be approved before you can download the data set. Next, we have controlled type of data, and this one is deposited under the secure access conditions. This typically indicates that data are more sensitive, such as more sensitive variables, or it has a more specific information on the geography. And usually, researchers need to demonstrate their trustworthiness and experience with secure type of data before they can download the data. Also, you will have to pass our Secure User Lab training before you can get these data. And finally, it is possible for the data depositors to self-deposit data with us, and they tend to decide on their own set of access conditions, which they will indicate in their data record. So these data will be deposited under reshare conditions. These are our most common routes of accessing the data. So first of all, obviously you can download the data. The data can be downloaded in all the main formats suitable for quantitative analysis. You can access data in SPSS formats, data, and tab delimited format. Next, some of the main studies we hold can be accessed online via our Nesta software. So you can view and analyze data online without needing to have any statistical software on your computer. The International Time Series data can be analyzed with the UKDS Stat software. Again, this is an online tool and you can access it from our website. The census count data can be analyzed with Infuse, and census flows can be analyzed using our Wicked software. So in order to access most of the data, besides the open data, first thing you should do is register with our service. The home page has the hyperlink for registering or logging in, so you simply click on it and you create a user account. Next thing you would have to do in order to start downloading the data is creating a project. And I will demonstrate how to do it in the next slides. But for now, I just would like to say a few words about why we require researchers to create these projects. So first of all, we believe it will help researchers as it will help you organize your work by a particular research question. Some researchers do need a lot of data sets, so that creates some nice structure to work. Next, it allows us to track how our service is being used, and also it allows the data owners, the data depositors to monitor how frequently their data sets are being downloaded and used and for what kind of research. So this is again, the same Understanding Society page. However, I would like here to show you that if you are not logged in, as I was in the previous demonstrations, this is the page you're most likely to see, that you would have to be registered or logged in to access the study. In the next couple of slides, when I will be showing access to the data via downloading or online, I will always be logged in. So the page will look slightly different. So this is the demonstration of downloading the Understanding Society end user license dataset. I have, through the Access tab, I have added it to my account. And next thing I should do is go to my account page at the top of the page of the website. And this is my account area. Here in the left graph, this is the information on all the data I have downloaded and all the projects I have created. Now, the right-hand side of the page shows the deposits information. This is for those who are depositing data with UK Data Service rather than downloading it. So for now, I will focus on data that I have been downloading. From this page, I have to go to the data menu. And here you can see the dataset that I have added to my account. So here's the dataset that I have added to my account. Now I have to select the dataset and add it to my project. For the purpose of this demonstration, I will create a new project to which I will add the dataset. So when you create a new project, you will have to provide a little bit of background information about it. So first of all, the project would need a title. As you can see, there is a character limit for the title. It can't be too short, but it also can't be too long. So I title my project as Introduction to the UK Data. Next, I need to select the project type. There is a choice between non-commercial, commercial, and teaching use. This is obviously a non-commercial use of data. So select that. And the abstract needs to provide a bit more of a background information to the purpose of my research and why I am downloading the dataset. So here I'm writing, this is a demonstration of how to access and download an end-user license dataset into my project area. Again, abstract has a minimum length of characters, and that is to ensure that we do have enough background information to understand what the project is for. So now I click on Create the Project, and now I'm ready to add this Understanding Society dataset into my newly created project, Introduction to the UK Data Service. Once I do that, as you can see, the status shows request access, and I would like to pay attention to that so that our new users don't get confused and don't think that there is a problem with accessing the dataset. What happens is that UK Data website takes perhaps an additional 30 seconds or so to process the request and generate an end-user license agreement that I simply have to agree to before I can download the dataset. So as you can see here, the notification shows actions are being generated. Please come back shortly. And you can see that now I am able to accept the standard end-user license agreement. Once I do that, a pop-up screen appears that essentially just confirms that I have accepted the agreements. That's all that had to be done. And now I am ready to access the dataset. So finally, this is the final step where I select the dataset and I choose to download it. From this page, you can download either of the datasets or perhaps all of them if you wish. I select the download data version of this dataset, and once I do, I am ready to save the data and documentation in a zipped folder. And there it is. Alternative way to access data is by using our online tools, Nesta. Not all studies offer this option. So as you could see, Understanding Society Harmonized Dataset did not offer online access. However, Millennium Cohort Study is a good example of offering the possibility of both downloading data and analyzing it online. We are on the Series page of Millennium Cohort Study, and Access tab lists all the available datasets for use. You can see that this is an example of a dataset that can be accessed online, and whereas the Millennium Cohort Study third survey does not offer an online access. Another way you could check which datasets could be accessed online is by actually going to our Get Data pages, find the Explore Online tab, and here if you choose Nesta, it will direct you to the website with a full list of all available datasets that can be used for online analysis. Here I'm demonstrating how to access online the Millennium Cohort Study cross-sweep harmonized data. We are on the Access page, and you can see that I had both options of downloading or accessing online the page. Once I select Access Online, I'm directed to the Nesta website. On the left-hand side, you can see a list of all the datasets available to be analyzed via Nesta. I go all the way down to the Millennium Cohort Study. I select the dataset that for the cross-sweep harmonized data that I wanted to look at. And here, besides the data, you can access a range of useful information such as study description, methodology, and more specific data files description that are linked to this specific data collection. When I go to variable description, here you have a list of all the variables available to be analyzed online. Once you click on either of these variables, you get a basic description of the variable and a set of descriptive statistics such as minimum, maximum values, mean for the value if available, standard deviation, and obviously valid and missing cases. On the next page, I would like to demonstrate a really simple analysis, a simple correlation between two variables. This is in no way a comprehensive research, but rather just a demonstration of what can be done with the online Nesta tool. So I'm going to select for my correlation two variables. One of them will be age of the participant, and I enter it in the correlation. And another one will be the body mass index. And you can see that the output produces the correlation coefficient, significance levels, and the count. You can also use additional information presented on the top of the page that offers to subset the variables, to weight variables, and later on to export the output in PDF format or as a spreadsheet. You can also here use the weights to weight your data. Unfortunately, this specific dataset did not offer such an option. Now I will mention briefly another way to access our international macro data, and this is by using another online tool, UKDS Stat. The data you can access by the UKDS Stat software is provided by large organizations such as World Bank, OECD, and United Nations. Similarly to Nesta, you can access UKDS Stat by going to our Get Data Explore online pages. This is a great software, and it also allows the creation of time series data displayed as heat maps and other quite useful visualizations. We do have a wide range of tutorials based specifically on UKDS Stat use, and you can use our home page to navigate to our tutorial pages, and you can find all the recordings there. Now I would like to provide a short recap of the webinar today. So first of all, a good way of starting your data exploration is using our key data search. Data by theme is useful when you look for data that taps into a particular research area. You can use our data catalog search engine to look for data set and further refine, filter, and order your results. You can use it to search for particular variables or questions, and further you can use it to look for qualitative data sets. Some studies that we hold can be analyzed online through Nesta or UKDS Stat softwares. and most of the other studies are available for download, subject to access conditions, of course. If you have any additional questions, we have help pages and get in touch functionality, so you can send questions and requests directly to the user support office. So I would like to demonstrate where to find our online forms. If you start from the home screen of UK Data and select the help menu on the top of the screen, you will be directed to Get in Touch pages. If you select Get in Touch, then you have a list of our online forms. Please have a look through it and find a description that is most closely reflecting your type of query. So here you have the possibility of asking specific questions regarding finding particular data sets, or you already have been analyzing data sets and you feel like a particular variable that should be there is missing. You can ask questions to UK Data regarding that. If you're already a Secure Lab user, you will find those forms useful to contact us if you need to import something in the Secure Lab area or to request an output. Thank you for attending. Good luck with your research. See you later.